You're listening to Real Talk Sports. Subscribe to catch all the future previews and recaps of Indiana Fever games. Caitlin Clark's doubters and detractors are saying that her college production won't translate to the WNBA. By their reckoning, she's been playing against little girls, but now grown women will take her down a notch. Is this notion actually based in reality and history? Or is it just empty, disparaging rhetoric? Well, the past informs the future. Two players from the past are going to give context. Like Clark, Larry Bird and Earvin Magic Johnson showcased their skills and entered the American consciousness by making exciting runs to the NCAA Tournament Championship game. Even though Magic and Bird both dazzled with their skills in college, they had a whole slew of naysayers giving forecasts of diminished production for them in the NBA. Bird supposedly didn't have the foot speed to get around NBA defenders or the quickness to get his shot off. Magic wouldn't be able to handle the ball like he did in college at his size, they said. The NBA guards would pressure him and take it away from him. They said he didn't shoot well enough and couldn't get to the basket against the superior NBA defenders. Sound familiar? Here's what actually happened. Magic Johnson entered into the NBA and pretty much replicated his stat performances from college. He had almost just as many assists in the NBA as he did in college. He had a little bit better rebounding and he scored a little bit higher. He took his team that had been 47-35 to a 60-22 record and won an NBA championship. And what did Bird do when he got into the NBA? He was one of the leading scorers in college, and he still scored well when he got to the Celtics. He had 21.3 points a game. He had almost identical assist totals, and his rebounds really didn't drop very much. And what did he do? He took a team that was 29-53 and took him to a 61-21 record, actually improved by 32 games with him in. So it doesn't sound like they really missed much, does it? These were two elite players. They had high basketball IQs and they were facilitators, just like Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, who led the nation in scoring 3 out of the 4 years she played, and also led the nation in assists 2 of those years, something nobody else had ever done. She was definitely an elite player like Bird and Magic, so if we use them as kind of a template and indicator, there's no reason to think she's not going to do something very similar. So if we look at her stats from college, I want to emphasize that Clark is unique on the women's side. There's not another player like her to look back on and make comparisons to. Really, Magic and Bird are the only players I can think of that are even close. So you look at what they did when they came in and the impact they had on their team's records, which was amazing, considering they're rookies. There's no reason to think that Clark won't be able to do that too. She's impactful like them. She's a scorer and she's a facilitator. We've never had a woman like this before on the women's side. She led the nation in scoring and assists at the same time. And if you think about that Iowa team, you take her off and replace her with some of these women in the past like Taurasi or Sue Bird, and they don't make those runs to the championship game with those players. All those players were good in their own right. They're not going to be able to facilitate and lift their teams up the way she did with scoring and throwing out those dimes all over the place. So there's no reason to think she's not going to come in and take the Fever to another level, just like Bird and Magic did with their teams. Like Bird and Magic, Clark is a different elite kind of player. She won't be adjusting. She's going to come roaring into the WNBA reloaded.